Tories demand an investigation into civil servants' appointment under a Labour government. We're going to read into this more from Sky News, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from Sky News with the headline that the Tories demand an investigation into civil service appointment under a Labour government. The Conservative Party has raised the appointments of 4 people to the civil servants since Labour entered government, raising concerns of impartiality. The Cabinet Office says that the claims from the Tories are untrue. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. So I've just gonna want to put this out there before I really. I did read this article a little bit before. I read a little bit into it before we read it again, guys. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, are Labour crossing a line potentially? Could Labour be crossing a line potentially? And there is that possibility. There is that possibility with some of them having some kind of connections or long pointed connections to Labour of some sorts. But a part of me just feels like, are you gonna, like, for me, it just feels so hypocritical for Conservatives to be sitting there on the sidelines demanding an investigation when these guys, with the amount of scandals and the amount of problems that they were when they've been in charge for the last 14 years, the amount of taxpayer money that they've wasted, the amount of money that they gave to their buddies and their cronies, and they've got the goal to be sitting there demanding an investigation into a Labour government that's only been in power for what, a month and a half or something. Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous, you know. It just feels so hypocritical. And I get why people in the comments will brush all politicians and brush all parties the same. I totally understand that. I totally understand that premise, guys. But we have to remember that Labour haven't been in power for 14 years. 14 years is a long goddamn time. I know some people just don't trust Labour, and you're right. I don't trust Labour either. I don't trust Keir Starmer. I don't trust them. But I'm certainly not a Labour supporter. God, no. But, like, have you been living under a rock for the last 14 years, what we've had with the Conservatives? Like, are you that retarded? Are you that stupid that you don't see the damage that has been done by them? Like, and some people out there are actually mad enough to think that sticking with the Conservatives was better than going with Labour. And I'm like, it's just absolutely bonkers for me. But yeah, there may be some stuff obviously to look. I think there may be some questions. I think there's definitely some questions about some of them. But but to hear this from the Conservatives just feels so hypocritical, given how corrupt those lot are. It really, really is, you guys. So the Conservatives are demanding an investigation into Labour's appointment of several senior civil servants since the election, in which the opposition claims may have broken the hiring rules. Okay, do they have evidence to support that? The government says the claims from the opposition are untrue. The appointments include Emmy Middleton, formerly of Labour-aligned group Labour Together, and Ian Cotfield, who donated to the party, being given senior roles in the service. Okay, first and foremost, yeah, this definitely raises concerns. But you can't tell me that there haven't been favours for Conservatives here who have donated from Conservative donors to the party, and you can't tell me that it hasn't happened on your end. I'm sorry. Don't be hypocritical. Yeah, but absolutely, there's definitely a question there. From Labour Together, that's definitely questionable as well. The Tories are claiming that these hirings could be down to ministers trying to circumvent Sir Keir Starmer's Chief of Staff, Sue Gray, who has reportedly blocked the appointment of advisors to political roles. Alex Thomas, the programme's director of the Institute of Government Think Tank and a former director in the civil service, said the new government's steps aren't completely out of the ordinary. He said when it is possible to use an exception process when a minister wants to bring in someone to their department when they believe it's necessary. Mr. Thomas points to the frustration ministers can suffer when they don't have the hiring power, but are the ones who are held accountable to Parliament and the public for running the government. He does suggest the current role should have been hired through rapid recruitment processes rather than by appointment. Conservative MP John Glenn, who is the Shadow Paymaster General, has written to the Civil Servants Commission calling for an investigation. The commission is headed up by the Baroness Gilligar Stewart, the former Labour MP, and he ensures that the civil servants is impartial. In his letter, Mr. Glenn highlighted the 1854 Northcote Travelling Report, in which he brands the foundation of the modern civil servants, saying it warns against appointing people by personal or political considerations. He added that his letter is a formal complaint under Section 13 of the Constitutional Reform and Governance Act of 2010 that was passed by Gordon Brown. Mr. Glenn wrote that he wants a thorough investigation to make sure that the hiring was done in line with Civil Servants Code. He added that I fear that these are not isolated cases and risk a wider pattern of the politicalisation of the civil servant staffing and communications under this administration. A Cabinet Office spokesperson has said that these claims are untrue. These are clear rules governing recruitment and appointment of civil servants' role, which are regulated by the Civil Service Commission. We do not comment on individual staff matters. So this is the thing, like the Cabinet are basically saying this is absolute BS. This is not true in any way, shape or form. They're making that very, very clear here. Mr. Glenn raises 4 specific cases in his letter. They include Miss Middleton being made Director General in the Department of Science, Innovation and Technology, as well as Miss Cornfield being appointed a Director in the Treasury. He also notes that the former advisor to Chancellor Rachel Reeves, Oliver Newton, has been made Head of Business Engagement at the Treasury. And then he says Hallington Illington has been made a Senior Policy Advisor in the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Governments after having worked for Labour as an advisor. Mr. Glenn said he understands that there have been further such appointments in government of such Labour figures. I can understand. I can understand the questions. I can understand the issues around that. There definitely are questions there. Whether or not, and I don't know whether or not there should be an investigation. I'm kind of torn on this. Part of me feels like there is definitely something amiss here, while at the same time, Labour are not. Here's the thing, like Labour are flat out saying that there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. That the claims that are completely untrue, and it's one thing for the government to deny or to deny something like that flat out. It's very rare that that the government are flat out saying no, this is completely untrue. They could have dodged the question, they could have misconscribed it, but the Labour government are literally saying this is not true. That's what they are saying here, and that's a very key point there. I think is very much in this for sure, guys. I don't know whether there should be an investigation or not. I am partly torn, but then I suppose that if someone in the comments said to me, "But if this was Conservatives, you would want an investigation," and you're right. If it was Conservatives, I would want an investigation, given everything happening. So I guess maybe they should allow an investigation just to show that nothing has been impartial, I suppose. So maybe that should be the case. But enough about what I think. What do you guys honestly think about this situation? Do you think the Tories are right to demand an investigation into these appointments under a Labour government? Is there definitely more to this than we don't know? Is there impartiality going to be put inside the civil service? Is there still going to be impartiality in the civil service? Should we be concerned deeply by this? And are the Tories hypocritical for being like this as well? Let me know your thoughts and more about all this down in the comments section below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work that I do here, you could do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.